What's going on, everyone? Dubs here, and in today's video I'm going to show you exactly how to cook a great steak in the Big Boss air fryer. I'm going to show you two different ways, so stay tuned.
This is a Chucky Beat production.
Okay, so you see here we have our ribeye roast, and this is supposed to be a roast for, as in obviously roasting. However, I prefer steaks, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to try to cut these first. Ideally, you want to have your steaks be about 1.5 inches. That's generally the perfect thickness of it, but because there's bones here, there's a bone here, and there's a couple random bones there. I'm not sure how this is going to work. Hopefully it'll work well, but so obviously you can just buy a steak that does not have bones in it. As we go, this might end up being more than that thickness that we want. Hopefully we can even cut it all the way through. Let's see. This is not going to be perfect cuts by any means. Definitely a bone in there. That kind of sucks. So stay tuned until I figure this out. Figured out how to cut it. It's not the most perfect cut. It's not beautiful by any means. But they are cut. The steaks are good. I'm gonna have to change a little bit of how I wanted to do this video, but here's a good looking ribeye. So this is going to be our steak number 1 for the day, and you see these guys are a little bit thicker than I would have ever wanted for the air fryer. Can't really do much about it because of the bone in there, so we'll just make it work, and I'll show you how to impromptu cook some ribeyes on this Big Boss. Maybe not ideally, but that's how we'll go. So now we got our steaks here. You season it however you want. I'm gonna be super simple today, so I'm just gonna use some sea salt. That's pretty much it. So be as liberal as you want. You can go, top and bottom right away, as I'm going to do now, or you can put it on one side and then when you're done, where you put it into the Big Boss and then season the other side. But I'm going to season that now. I'll wait to do the other ones, and I'm going to preheat the air fryer and give you a little bit more detail. Alrighty, so while I wait for the steaks to get a little closer to room temperature before I cook it, I'm going to preheat the air fryer and explain a little bit exactly 2 different ways that I like to cook the steaks in here. So no matter what, for the most part, I set the air fryer to 400 degrees. That's just what I do. If I want to cook it a little bit faster, I'll actually go up to 415, 420, even 425 or so. But 99.9% of the time, I'm at 400 degrees. So that's the top knob there. The bottom knob is the timer. And I just always set that to 60 because I don't use that for the actual timer. It's just the timer has to be on to cook it. So that's that. So I'm gonna go ahead, set it 60, and just pressing down on there, you'll see the light come on and it starts to warm up. So now, and let me turn that off real quick. So with the air fryer comes 2 different racks, or a couple different racks actually, but these 2, you have a much smaller one that sits on the bottom, and then one that has a lot taller feet. And what we're gonna start with is the taller feet one, even though I wanted to start with this one, that's okay. So when you have the one that's a little bit taller, it's going to put it a lot closer to the heat source, meaning it's going to cook a little bit faster, maybe even make it a little bit more crispy, and while keeping the steak more towards the rare to medium rare on the top at a shorter time, rather than the bottom one where obviously it's a little farther away, therefore it's going to take a little longer to cook exactly, or not exactly the way you want it, but cook a little bit longer if that's what you want. So I'm going to show you both ways today. So as I said, we're going to turn that on 400 degrees, just let it preheat for about 10 minutes. One way to do this, if you want to preheat it for 10 minutes exactly too, is you can set your timer to about 10 minutes long, and so when it beeps off, you know it's been 10 minutes, and then you can throw your steak on. But I'm just gonna put it at 60 minutes and just wait a while, wait about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll get going, maybe even a little longer. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. There is my delicious looking ribeye. So now I'm just gonna park you right in front of here. I'm looking at my crooked little grill there. So cool thing about this, as soon as you pick it up, as I said, turns off. Lay them right on there. You hear it start to sizzle, and we're off to the races. So because it's nice and close and it's not too thick, I'm probably gonna set it for about 4 minutes. And I'll tell Google to do that, and we'll get going. Hey Google, set a 4-minute timer. Okay, so it's actually been only about 3 minutes, and well, let me show you how it's looking at the top. So, see, there you go. So, already getting nice and brown. The fat's turning nice and brown as well, which is exactly what we want to see. As I said, I stopped it at 3 minutes instead of 4 minutes because I'd rather play it safe than sorry. So, flip it on over. I eat most of my steaks medium rare to a little bit more rare. So I know I could always throw it on again if I really wanted it. So I'm just gonna salt it a little bit more. Here we go. Okay, perfect. Hey Google, set a 4-minute timer, please. All right, we are 4 minutes in. Let's take a look at it. See it, Steve? Ooh, look at that guy. That is going to be tasty. All right, so let me set you up just like that. All right, get the tongs. Ooh-wee. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna close it. It's not to lose any of the heat or anything, just in case I want to throw it back on. I'm gonna turn it on again, but I think this is gonna be good. So, here we go. There's the finished looking product. What I'm gonna do is, just like any steak, you let it sit for about 5 minutes or so, maybe even longer, just to let the steak kind of reabsorb some of the juices and things, and let it be nice and juicy. So there it is. I'm gonna wait 5 minutes, then cut into it, and you can see what it looks like. Alrighty, here we are. I've been letting it sit for a couple minutes now. Probably could let it sit for a little bit longer, but I am hungry and I want to eat. So here we go. We're going to show you what it looks like on the inside here. Cut off a little piece. Cuts right through. I mean, definitely a little bit more rare than medium rare, but that's exactly how I like it specifically. So this was 3 minutes on one side, 4 minutes on the other. You play it by ear, as I said, depending on how well you want it cooked. As I said, this could probably afford another minute or two on each side. You see this side. Ooh, where am I here? This side was probably the 4-minute side. This side is probably 3, just because you could see how much it's cooked. But I mean, this is perfect. I actually might just throw it on again, just so I could cook the fat just a little bit more. The camera's making it a little bit more brown than it actually is, so I might just try to crisp that up. Taste test. Oh my god, it's so freaking good. That is the ribeye on the top. As I said, that's one of the best ways to do it. Best way to cook it. A little bit faster, a little bit crispier. Know what I'm gonna do? You're not really supposed to do this with a steak, but hey, my video, my steak, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, see, some of the juices are kind of coming out a little bit more. Could have let it sit for a little longer, but that's what it looks like on the inside. Definitely more rare, but that's exactly how I like it. So this is amazing. I'm going to go enjoy this, and then in a couple hours when I cook the second steak, I'm gonna show you how to do it using the smaller one, all right? Okay, we are here with our second steak. It's a couple hours later. There it is. It looks just as delicious. This has been preheating for a little while, but as you see, we are using the lower grate there, the lower grill. So because it's lower, as I said, it's gonna take a little longer to cook, and it's also, it might not be just as crispy, the fat and stuff, or the outside. So just throw it here. Good. And instead of those couple minutes, the 3 and 4 minutes, we're gonna just set it for 5 minutes. Okay. So, hey Google, set a 5-minute timer. So now, it's been about 4.5 minutes or so. Let me show you the top here. That's how it's looking. I'm stopping a little earlier. As I said, I'd rather play it careful, and I don't want to overcook it. I would much rather undercook, as then I could throw it back on, versus overcook, then I'm screwed. So here we go. Got my other side flipped over. Back on, and this time I'm probably gonna set a 4-minute timer or so. So, hey Google, set a 4-minute timer, please. All right, so we are done. I stopped it, I think, another minute early again. So I'm gonna put that on here, get that back rolling. Try to turn it off real quick. So there it is, there's it's looking. So this is the lower one, as I said. If you don't know about how to tell what the texture of it's going to be, or what the temperature inside is going to be, there is a finger test. So by doing this, I gotta put it down. Sorry. So the way a steak will feel will almost be like how, if you do this, how your thumb is going to feel. So that is going to be rare, that is medium rare, that's medium, and that's well. So as you do that, if you do that right now watching it, you'll feel this muscle here get a lot tighter. So let's see what we're, it's definitely more rare for sure, which is totally fine. So we will sit here and we will wait 5 minutes, couple minutes for it to let all that juices sit, and we will try it. All right, here we go. Gonna cut into it. It's been sitting for a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so. Can probably let it sit a little bit longer, but I'm impatient and hungry again. So we're gonna go into it and give our first cut. There you go. So, still pretty pink on in there. So, let's see how it feels. Still real good. So, perfect good color for me. Let's see what it looks like on the inside here. Definitely more well done than the other one.
This is a Chucky Beat production.
Let's see how the camera. Oh, can you see? There you go. Okay, so definitely this is more close to medium rare than the rare. So this was about 4 minutes roughly 4 minutes on each side. 4.5 minutes on one side, and I believe 4 minutes on the other, and then let it sit. And that's it. So those are the two ways that I like to cook the steaks. It's very easy, very simple, not overcomplicated by any means. Just salt and throw it on in there, and it comes out absolutely perfect, nice and tender, nice and juicy every single time. Give that a shot. Use those techniques, if you will. I mean, it's not even a technique, it's just so easy to do. But those are the two ways that I cook those steaks. So go ahead, cook some steaks. Leave me a comment below if you tried it this exact way, and let me know how it came out. Yeah, so until the next video, I'll see you later.